Good morning. I am back by my favorite waterfall, one of my favorite spots in this beautiful park. So where have I been? I'm sorry, I haven't been here. We had rain. Oh my God, it's all a bunch of crap. I should have been here and said hi to you guys. And I missed Hump Day. So Hump Day, Mike. So we've talked about the triad at length. We have talked about only suffering for 90 seconds. We have talked about that the real things that we need to focus on are meaning and the response that you have to that, the emotional response that you have to that particular meaning. Because at the end of the day, it's not things that we want, it's the feelings that we think those things are going to give us. And we should still work to acquire those things. Please hear that you want to be growing. You're either growing or you're dying. And the way to grow is to work towards achieving outcomes. And the things don't have to be watches and cars. They can be creating foundations. They can be feeding people. They can be housing people. They can be clothing people. They can be providing hearing devices for those that are hearing impaired. Whatever it is, whatever is the thing that inspires you, you need to work towards achieving those outcomes. But along the way, we need to understand that the emotions that we want to feel are really the whole purpose for doing all of that. And that we're the ones that decide what that emotion is and when we get it. That's the meaning. The meaning that we give to something creates the emotion, and nothing has any meaning but the meaning we give it. So in other words, we're in charge. We're the ones that are really in charge of how we feel. And we do that by using our triad, remember, our physiology, our focus, our language/belief, to determine how we respond to any particular event. And we're the ones that are in charge of that at any particular time. Hence the whole I'm only going to suffer for 90 seconds rule. That's a decision that you make that if I've got something that goes wrong and I react to it, I'm going to consciously make a decision that I'm only going to suffer. I'm only going to be in that suffering state for 90 seconds, and then I'm going to change that. So what's the difference between a suffering state and a beautiful state? Well, those are really the two things that you can be in. You're either not feeling how you want to, which is a suffering state, or feeling how you want to, which is a beautiful state. Those are really your two options. And we can put a million subcategories under there of what that is. And how you want to feel can change. So it could, yeah, I need a haircut. I'll be seeing Amo today. Now, how you want to feel can change. So like you can feel something is a beautiful state at one time and it's a suffering state another time because it's not how you want to feel at that time. So what's the next step? Okay, so we consciously know all this. And whatever self-help book you read, this is really what they're teaching you, is that you're in control of how you feel. What you really want are feelings. You decide how you feel, and there's a system for doing that. The next step then is to ingrain that into yourself so that you don't have to think about it. And if you look at like Tony Robbins technologies, that's the majority of what these technologies are trying to do. Is there a system of ways to start creating a reaction to everything that puts you in a beautiful state rather than in a suffering state? Whether it's incantations, whether it's morning questions, whether it's priming, whether it's transformational vocabulary, whether it's uploading the roles and whatever it is, all of those things are designed so that you don't have to think about turning yourself into a beautiful state. It happens automatically. And how do you do that? You continue to ingrain these new ideas. And even if they're not new, you continue to do them again and again and again and again. We've talked about how successful people all have a morning routine. The routine varies, but it has some basic principles. There's a physical aspect to it, some sort of physical activity. There's an aspect of solitude, whether that's meditation or not. There's an aspect of organizing your day and your life, your week. If you organize the little things become big things. And there's a system of uploading into your brain who you are, your identity. Remember, that's the most powerful force in human psychology is identity. Anybody who's successful controls their brain by starting their day out with a specific morning routine. that is designed to put themselves in a situation where no matter what happens, they're going to respond in a beautiful state. So if you go back and look at Tony Robbins' 30 Days to Success, one of my favorite programs that has ever been done, I've done a lot of them. Most of that program is designed to help you be in a beautiful state on a regular basis. It's designed to create repeatable systems that make it so that you feel good no matter what happens. Go back and take a look at it from that perspective. You know, and Tony's greatest thing that he does is Date with Destiny, and there we design our values and our beliefs so that we always feel good. Again, it's the same thing. And that's a more complicated process. But there's easy things that you can start today that will change your life forever. Incantations will change your life forever. How do we know? The Marine Corps. You've heard me say that example before. It's a perfect example of what the power of incantations can be. Changing your standards. I'm going to live this way no matter what. And people that inspire us do that, by the way. People that inspire us are people that have had all of the odds thrown against them, but yet they make a decision that they're going to live life a certain way. Holocaust survivors, for me, are by far the greatest examples of this. But there's great examples of people who have overcome serious physical challenges, health challenges, and they've decided, I'm going to say yes to life, even though life didn't deal me the same cards that everybody else did. How did they do it? They did it by doing these regular things. They did it by making a decision that they were going to live life in a certain way and feel these feelings all the time, and then by doing these regular things in order to feel those feelings. So when you talk about incantations, when you talk about morning questions, when you talk about transformational vocabulary, and if you don't know what any of these things are, drop it in the chat and I'll be happy to do stuff on all of those. All of that stuff is designed to make it so that we live in beautiful states without having to think about it, that it becomes a reaction. So when something happens that is outside of our plan for the day, and how often does that happen? All the time. So when something happens that's outside of your plan, outside of your comfort zone, not what you expected, not what you anticipated, not what you hoped for, that you then train your brain to go to a beautiful state. And that training never stops. It's just like staying in shape. It's something you got to do all the time. I went through a period of time where I did this stuff, but I didn't attend any seminars. And I not only stopped growing, I started regressing significantly. So even though I was doing the stuff every day, I wasn't taking part in immersion and I didn't have coaching. For me, what ultimately I learned for me, and it might be different for you, I needed to do daily practice. I needed to do at least 3 seminars a year, immersion, and I needed to have regular coaching. And then I saw consistent growth. And what I learned from COVID, because then I got to do a lot more of these seminars, is the more I did, the more the growth accelerated. So the next step is to start training your body by using these technologies to respond in a way to give you a beautiful state, even when you haven't thought about it yet to become there. Because we all know now that we can do it consciously. Now we want to make it subconsciously so it's that much easier. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on. We got a great crowd this morning. Judith is there. James down in Florida. Jacqueline is on this morning. Thank you so much. Valerie, great to see you. Brandy, great to see you. Angie is on. Chris is on. Mr. Dakin is here, as always. Chrissy, my cousin out in Boston. Maria in New York. New York, hey, Maria, Yankees suck. What can I tell you? Go Brewers. Thank you, everybody, for being on today. I truly appreciate it when you take the time. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.